I was with my friend today, and her and I both were married to the safe men and to very, very, very financially successful men that were really kind hearted, would do anything for us. Again, the safe person that society would consider cream of the crop. We were married to them, and we both made the decision to leave. And we could have stayed, we could have been cushy, never had to work again, could have been married, could have had kids. And her and I were there today, and we were able to plug in our phones into the Bluetooth and play the music. And her and I are fully doing a leg workout. We are jamming to Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, all the good stuff. And her and I are both just giggling. My jaw literally hurts because her and I were just giggling and laughing the whole time. And we're reading these quotes on the wall, and it was so crazy because her and I were both just fully connected, and we were like, wow, we're here. We are on the other side. We dreamt of this. This is why we left.
So let me get this straight. You left your quote-unquote safe husband to basically hang out with your friends more often?
Great job! Fantastic!
And it made no sense to anybody, and it was so hard. It was so heartbreaking. We literally had to go through hell and back, but we are back, baby, and we're better than ever. And it is so cool to be on the other side of following your intuition and honoring your soul.
I think the best way to honor your soul is by staying committed to your husband, because you literally swore to during the marriage ceremony. Not only that, but you also swore in front of God himself. I'm not a pastor or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's one of the best ways to honor your soul is to not break a holy contract. But hey, what do I know?
It is so amazing to be on the other side of no longer abandoning yourself for society's sake, for the sake of what everybody else wants for you, for other people's emotional comforts, and abandoning your own. To stop that and to start living according to your truth, your desires, your soul, your intuition, the things that you can't explain but you know are there. I want it for everybody so badly. It was just so deeply beautiful. And we are the most present we've ever been. We're the happiest we've ever been, the healthiest we've ever been. And it's because we honored ourselves, but it is hard. It is so hard to block out that outside noise.
When she says block out the outside noise, she means block out the sound of your ex-husband's pain and suffering, because that could really kill your vibe.
And you just have to find other people who are willing to block it out with you. You have to find the people who are going to honor and nurture and make the voices inside of your heart and soul louder than the outside noise, who are going to help you not be so scared, who are going to help you take that leap of faith, help you take the risk, and help you honor your highest self. And if I can be that for you, if this page can be for you, we're here. I'm here. We're here. You're not alone. You've got this. You've got this. Oh my gosh. And it is so worth it. It's so worth it.
The hardest marriages for women to leave are often when they are married to husbands who are good guy presenting. And I want to explain this to you because these husbands, they don't yell, right? They don't cheat. They don't disappear. They show up when they're supposed to. They will help if you tell them exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it every single time, right? They're not necessarily abusive. They're not really chaotic.
He's so perfect.
They're not necessarily scary and having, huge outbursts. They're literally just there. And I think for so many women, this is what makes it so hard to name and so hard to leave, because nothing is technically wrong, right? But nothing is deeply right either. He doesn't proactively make your life easier. He doesn't anticipate your needs. He doesn't carry the mental labor with you. He just sits there waiting for instructions, like a puppy dog waiting for a command, right? And when you're exhausted and you're resentful and you're already drowning, this will make you feel like you're crazy, because you have friends whose husbands are way worse than that. You've seen the horror stories. You've seen the TikToks. You know that worse guys out there exist. And your husband isn't necessarily like that. He's a good guy, right? But good guy presenting isn't the same as being an engaged and invested and a participative partner. Bare minimum behavior wrapped in politeness is still bare minimum. And what makes it so fucking draining is that you can't point to one big thing. It's not like one big thing happened in your marriage. It's literally death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's that you're not considered without asking. You're never relieved from your duties without delegating to him first. You're never being prioritized without being prompted or reminded. And then you start wondering if you're crazy. You start wondering if you're asking for too much, wondering if you're just too hard to please, if you'll never be happy. But you're not asking for too much. You're not too hard to please. You are literally asking for partnership, but you're getting this passive participation and you're being expected to tolerate it because it could always be worse.
Ma'am, if a woman is still somehow discontented with a husband that's that involved, then she's the problem at that point. She just can't be pleased. A lot of times when women are like this, it's because the husband really isn't their first choice to begin with. He's just another one of these safe guys. So he's kind of effed by default, no matter what he does.
The hardest marriages to leave aren't the bad ones. They're the ones that no longer fit who you've become.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Because in that kind of a marriage, nothing is obviously wrong. There's no betrayal, no blow up, no moment that you can point to and say, that's why this is over. Instead, what's happening is that you're growing, you're reading, you're learning, you're building, you're stretching yourself. You're curious about life and you want to live every minute of it. And your spouse, they're content.
What's wrong with that?
Same routine, same shows, same conversations, same everything. They're happy staying exactly where they are, and you're starting to feel like you can't breathe there. You're thinking about what's next, what's possible, what else you want out of life. And they're asking if you want to watch another episode of their show with them. And you just want to scream. So you stop talking because you don't have anything to say to each other anymore. You don't share any interests other than kids. You don't enjoy doing anything together other than maybe going to see the kids. You've grown so far apart, you're not even sure you're living on the same planet anymore. Your marriage isn't miserable because of conflict, but because of mismatch. So the real question isn't, is my marriage good or bad? It's, is this the way I want to spend the rest of my life?
Another thing, gentlemen, you need to avoid women who are constantly on social media. Because in a lot of cases, they are susceptible to getting a major case of FOMO. And once they do, that's pretty much game, set, match for your relationship. That's just wild, man. Imagine being an older cat trying his best to enjoy his retirement. You're just sitting there on your couch watching your favorite slop on TV, and here comes your wife nagging you about whatever the hell it is that she saw on Facebook earlier that day.
A couple days ago, I posted a video about how I divorced the good guy after being married for 8 years, but we were together for 21 years. And that's gotten quite the attention, 2 million views at this point. I have made some follow-up videos saying that I would eventually tell my story the way I want to tell it on my own terms, because that's what I came here for. I've been very apprehensive because the comment section is gnarly. And I know that the reason why I left is not the same story as a lot of people, and it is very selfish. The reason why I left was very selfish. And I'm ready for all the hate that's going to come, because I know from that comment section and from my inbox that there are so many women who are afraid to say the same thing. Let's start here. People fail to realize a man can be a good guy, a great father, but a horrible husband. The reason why I decided to pick this comment is because it's the #1 liked comment. That means a lot of people resonate with that. A lot of you are married to a good guy on the outside, but not a good guy on the inside. That was not the case. Nobody will be able to convince me on any video and any comment that my ex-husband is a bad guy. I share one tidbit of information that I considered emotional neglect and that I was settling, but I accepted about him, was that he couldn't tell me that he loved me. And that was not an exaggeration. A question that I get a lot is, did you tell him you loved him? I did, but I stopped doing that after a while. My ex-husband and I met when I was 16. We had our first child when I was 19. A lot transpired over that time. In the beginning, yes, he could tell me that he loved me. So much to unpack there, and I will go more into, what happened over the years, if that will help someone. But people are wondering, why did I leave? Why did I leave? I left because I wanted to. I left because I didn't want to be married anymore. I left because I didn't enjoy marriage. There were a lot of things wrong in that relationship, and I think that we had grown apart. I never felt like I could be myself. I never felt like I could be myself. If you go through my videos, you will see a transformation happen, and that transformation did not happen until I divorced my husband. I've never felt more like myself than I have in my entire life. I now know what love feels like. All the things that my husband did to show me that he loved me, I can do for myself. And that might be selfish. And I knew I was going to break my children's heart. And we have a lot to unpack here. But I left because I wanted to. Because essentially I was in a relationship with somebody that I really didn't even like. And I felt like he didn't like me. He was attached. 21 years is a long time. We had a lot of appearances to upkeep. There was no abuse happening. There was years and years of emotional neglect on his part and mine. We resented each other. I did him a favor. Let's start here.
At least she was honest about the situation. Gentlemen, this is why it's so important that you get an ironclad prenup. I truly do believe in the institution of marriage. I think that marriages produce the best possible environment to raise successful children. And the data is quite clear on that. But at the same time, you can't allow your financial security to be left up to chance. Because what if the woman you marry just says, "All right, I'm done." Like this lady here.
I don't want to rag on my husband, but the fact that he goes to an office and works every day does not make him immune to dealing with the chaos that happens at home. We have 2 toddlers, one of which is at our Mother's Day Out little preschool program. The other one is laying in bed with 102 fever, okay? That happened after I dropped them off at school this morning. I went to Hobby Lobby to run an errand, then I went back to the school because it's first responder day. I show up there and my 3-year-old is laying in his teacher's lap and we're like, what's going on? We check his temp, it was 102. By the time we got home, it was 102.7. We've had Tylenol, we're making it work, okay? But our cat is also at the vet because she has a fever, her back legs stopped working and she went blind a couple days ago. I don't know, it's been a whole thing. But the fact that I just had to call my husband and be like, hey, I'm gonna need some help today. And he's like, let me, and I'm like, that doesn't mean your mom. I don't mean you get to call your mom and pass the buck on to her and have her come over. Your sick child wants you. Your ill cat wants you. Your wife needs you. You know, it's not a who's going to be there or who's there to. The problem isn't needing help. The problem is that I need help from him. And it takes what feels like an act of Congress to communicate that sometimes, even though I explicitly say, I need your help. Not I need some help, not I need your mom's help, not I need help. I need your help. So anyway, he's figuring his shit out. It's only 12:15. He's figuring his shit out and then he's going to be home because I'm not going to pack this kid up back in the car to drive back to the preschool to pick up his sister because I would have to get him out of the car again to get him back in the car and drag him through the school. And I don't want to do that. That's not responsible parenting. But it's also not my mother-in-law's responsibility. It is my husband's. Dads don't babysit. Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, this woman right here is a stay-at-home wife, by the way. But here's the thing. This all just sounds like a very chaotic week. This definitely is outside the norm. It's definitely not your typical week. But for some reason, she decided to use that week to paint her husband as some kind of villain. Yes, I agree. Men obviously should play a major role in raising their children. But I get the feeling she's been on his case about helping out around the house even when things are relatively normal. And I'm sorry, but if I'm working my tail off to provide for the family and my wife is a stay-at-home mom, then yes, the children and the household chores would be primarily her duty. I mean, just look at how nice that kitchen is. Her husband is obviously on the grind for his family, and his efforts need to be appreciated. How would she feel if her husband got home and told her to head over to Circle K to get an application because she needs to start helping out with the bills? If they both worked full-time, my take on this would be different. But with her staying at home outside of a random, chaotic week, the level of work isn't comparable, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And please take this moment to like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Until next time, take care.